All right. Welcome. My name is John Ruzek, and I'm the Senior Director of Alumni Networks for the University of Minnesota Alumni Association. And welcome to our latest UMN Career Chat. And I'm here today with Amanda Rodriguez, who earned her Bachelor of Science in Sports Studies from the U of M in 2014. Welcome, Amanda.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, well, I was glad that you're in town. This is the first time we have met each other in person. We've been Twitter friends for a couple years, but you had mentioned that you're going to be in town tonight just by kind of planning in happenstance for the University of Minnesota night at the Minnesota Twins. And so glad that you're here. And maybe just first off, just kind of give a little background with your history with the two teams that are playing tonight.
Sure. So decided to come home for Twins Reds series because I actually interned for the Minnesota Twins in their All-Star season, and then moved to Cincinnati to intern for the Reds during their All-Star season in 2015. So that was the promise, to always come home anytime that they play one another. So here I am, and
Awesome.
It just happens to be University of Minnesota night. They planned it just for me. I
Just
like
for
to
you,
think.
just for you.
But it was perfect timing. So.
That's great. Yeah, and if there's folks out there who still would like to come to U of M night and you haven't got tickets yet, go to the Minnesota Twins website. The U of M night offer's still on the website, or you can walk up to the box office and get those U of M night tickets, because you want to go through that because you'll get a sweet Twins hat that's U of M colored and branded, and you don't want to miss that if you're heading out to the game tonight. And also, in a nice coincidence is that in her career now out in the greater New York City area, Amanda is the senior coordinator of media relations for the Major League Baseball Network and the National Hockey League Network, and actually has been really involved with our U of M alumni network out there as well. So nice tie-in with the baseball game tonight.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so with these career chats, we kind of both go over person's career background and some of the things that they've learned along the way. So first off, just talk about your career path up to this point and what your current role entails.
Sure. So very briefly, while I was actually still in school, I interned for the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York. I was a membership and development intern out there, so the first face you saw when you walked in to the Hall of Fame selling tickets, and so I was there for Barry Larkin and Ron Santos inductions, which was pretty cool, and foreshadowing me eventually headed to the Cincinnati Reds. From the Hall of Fame, I came home to continue school, interned for the St. Paul Saints, and then the Minnesota Twins, followed by the Reds after I graduated. From the Reds, I got my full-time position with MLB Network and NHL Network, which worked out perfectly. Somebody to like both sports and understand both sports. So I always like to say that in my cover letter, I think I stood out just coming from Minnesota, where we love baseball if there's no snow on the ground. And if there's snow on the ground, which is a lot, we do love our hockey in this state. So that definitely made me just slightly different than probably some other applicants that they had, just having that background of coming from here. So in my current role, we handle all of the incoming and outgoing media requests for both of our MLB Network and NHL Network talent. So anybody you would see on either of those channels, if you're looking for a print, blog, radio interview with anybody, our hosts or our analysts, it goes through our department. So again, incoming, but then also outgoing. So coming up with fun story ideas, if it's their workout regimen or if it's their interests. So we have some guys that are very fashionable, get their own custom suits made. So coming up with story ideas that are kind of tailored around like the Stanley Cup playoffs and what suits are they going to wear, what do the players wear as they come into the rink. So it's very fun, very involved with everyone you see on air, and it's a dream job.
Cool. Who's just off the top of your head, who's like some of the most interesting people who've walked through the doors?
Oh gosh, well we have players all the time. So actually Brian Dozier from the Minnesota Twins came on Tuesday. He came in to do a demo about hitting and picked up a golf club and was talking about how his golf swing helped improve his baseball swing. So of course that's my personal favorite. We've had some bands come through. The Goo Goo Dolls have been there. The band Parmalee has been there. Lots of Hall of Famers. The Hall of Famers actually come to visit each year after they are elected. So that's always a very cool moment.
Yeah.
The women's U.S. hockey team, actually, the twins, the Lamoureux twins, both came to visit. And Monique now works with us.
Oh, wow.
She's our first female analyst,
Cool.
so breaking barriers
That's
yet
great.
again. But tons of people. It seems like every day there's somebody new that you get to be excited about seeing,
Sure.
in addition to just our Hall of Famers that are casually walking around the building.
Just
Going to the cafeteria.
That's great.
So,
kind of now that you're in the work world, what has surprised you either as a fairly recent professional or just whether it's the particular role or now just being out of school, what are some of the challenges that come with everyday work?
I think what would surprise me, and I hope it's more than just my position in my organization, how much you're allowed to have a personality.
Yeah.
I guess maybe growing up and going through school, you think you're going to end up in a 9-to-5 office life, quiet cubes, and really it's been surprising that it's encouraged to be outgoing and have fun and smile and joke around with our talent and get to know their personalities and be able to blossom in that type of way. So that was a happy surprise and very encouraging.
Yeah.
Some challenges would, for me personally, just probably being far away from home.
Sure.
I guess that's probably the biggest one, especially in sports. You do have to move for the job.
Yeah.
If it's the right job and it's the right fit, you're going to pack your stuff up and you're going to hit the road. But there are times that it's hard, that you realize you're 1,200 miles away from mom and dad, or your dog, or Mesa Pizza. So I would say that's the biggest challenge.
Yeah.
But you can always come home. So
Yeah, we're glad that you're here. Because I think a lot, you were talking about how the role you're in is a dream job. Whether it's students or other alumni, if they were to talk with you, what would your advice be for others if they were trying to focus on how to be successful in your field?
in our field, try everything. I mean, don't say no to any opportunity. I always say that I knew I wanted to be in PR, but I did the marketing internships. I did the sales internships. I worked in the ticket office here at the U for 3 years. I did everything else to get my hands involved in sport, even though I knew that the end goal was PR. Just don't say no to anything. With the St. Paul Saints, I dressed up as their mascot a couple dozen times because it's what needed to happen. I pulled tarp with the St. Paul Saints. It's just get your hands dirty, don't say no, and someday somebody will appreciate that. My boss with the Cincinnati Reds, over lunch one day, just flat out said that he doesn't look at resumes if they don't have minor league experience, because he knows that somebody in baseball coming from the minor leagues understands how to get their hands dirty, how to wear 15 different hats, and how to get the job done at the end of the day. And that was kind of a realization moment of, I did it the right way without knowing it. Because people do appreciate that you've done everything and really never put up a fuss.
Yep. And I think sometimes even depending on the profession, just having some overall knowledge of the inner workings of whether you're in accounting or if you're working for a sports team or working in higher ed, just how all those different pieces play together, and having those different experiences hopefully can make you more marketable as you move on in your profession.
Definitely.
So.
You never know the moment it will come up, and my ticket office knowledge will randomly come in handy. And I'm sure it happens for you all the time, where something comes up and you're like, I know the answer to that question. Because of a 10-week internship I did at one point of my life. So every little thing helps.
Is there any other career advice you, looking back, like let's say you meet Amanda from 2012, is there any other career advice you would give her that you know now?
Yeah. The path will take you where it's supposed to take you. When I came into school in 2010, I was pretty upset that I didn't get into Carlson School of Management, and went into liberal arts, and just kind of went through freshman year, figured it out, and eventually, by happenstance, heard about the CEHD program. A family friend was like, you love business, you love sports, go be a sport management major.
Yeah.
And the light bulb went off, and it ended up being the exact right path for me. So it went from what could have been a sad moment to this is exactly what I was destined to do, and everything fell into place. And I think I said that plan B became very much my plan A, and it was what I was meant to do, and it just led me there. So let the path take you where it's going to take you, and it's going to dip and dive and dodge, and you'll end up where you're supposed to be.
From that experience, with whether at CEHD or other U of M experiences or interactions with faculty, how did those experiences, or those, we were talking about faculty before we went live earlier, how did those experiences or those people influence your career path now?
Yeah, I would say one huge one, if I can call her out, is Tiffany Richardson was my intro to sport management professor, and she told us it was going to be hard, and she was real and honest, and it's going to be a grind, and you're going to have to move, and you are going to need to want it the most out of anybody in that room. And to hear that at a really young age, I think stuck with me, and to this day I still try to see her, and it made just was one sentence that she said in intro, and it made such a huge impact and stuck with me, that you just need to want it the most. And again, you'll get there. But as far as our faculty is concerned, I think everybody, even science classes that I took, it's everybody's there for you, and it's cool.
That's awesome. So just kind of as we wrap up, from your time here at the U, what were some of your favorite things at the U of M, or things that you still like to stay connected with? We were just talking about Mesa Pizza as you were coming in, and now, since it's the noon hour, I'm extremely hungry. But
she brought some.
Yeah. No, what are some of those favorite things that you have from your U experience?
Yeah. So obviously the food. I am a big foodie, even now in New Jersey, and in New York City. I love brunch and love eating out at restaurants and trying all new food. But coming home to campus, have to go get Chinese, go get pizza. Even Potbellies. I mean, in Dinkytown, you just crave Dinkytown Potbellies, and just walking down the street with a milkshake. But other things I loved on campus, I was a huge hockey fan, was a season ticket holder my first 2 years, and then actually got the chance to work with the hockey cheer team my last 2 years at the U. So still stay in contact with that.
Nice.
I try to go to the city and watch almost every hockey game with some other alums, so we'll find a location that has Fox Sports North or Big Ten Network, and we'll watch it all together, so that way when we break out in the Rouser, it's not just me spelling out Minnesota. There's a whole group of us. So even this past January, Super Saturday, having basketball and hockey at Madison Square Garden, and being able to have 400 Gopher fans. Yeah,
you packed, Foley's?
Yeah,
I saw some video of that, and it was like, probably broke some fire codes, but
definitely broke
but
some
when you get that many Gophers in a room, that was exciting to see.
Goldie and the cheerleaders and the band showing up, and that was just, I think that was an aha moment of, I'm in New Jersey and I'm so far away from my school, but I can go across the river and have this moment of, again, we're singing the Rouser in a New York City bar, and my heart was just so happy, and so much maroon and gold, and we trucked to Madison Square Garden and watched the Gophers win. So very
awesome.
Cool.
Well, thank you so much for being here today and being part of this UMN Career Chat, and also thanks for all your volunteerism with the Greater New York City chapter, and then we've also started the online Maroon and Gold Network, where alums have volunteered to share some career advice, and both myself and Amanda are on that. And if you like following great sports, she's a great follow on Twitter as well. Marissa, do we have any questions that came up?
No, but a lot of likes.
All right, good. Well, it's all Amanda. I'm gonna give that to her. But if you are around tonight, University of Minnesota night at the Minnesota Twins, my colleague Marissa Smith, who's been manning the camera, and I will be at the Fulton Tap Room around 4 p.m. So if people are wanting to swing by Fulton before the game, check it out. I think you might stop by.
I will be making a wardrobe change into a Twins jersey, and I will be there. So.
Awesome. And then starting at 5 p.m., there will be a lot of activities on the Target Field Station Plaza, including that hat pickup that I was talking about. We'll have some former players signing autographs, yard games, the U of M band, Owl from the Raptor Center, and the one and only Goldie Gopher. So you can never pass up an opportunity to connect with Goldie. Maybe TC Bear will be there. I don't know how that all works between mascots, but
they charade it to each other and they just magically show up.
They magically appear. So it's going to be a fun night. So we hope to see you out there. And Amanda, I just want to say thank you again for stopping by the office while you're in town. We love to connect with alums when they're here and doing things like this on Facebook Live to share those career stories. So really appreciate your time being here today.
Of course.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.